Over the last few years, Flamingo Land Resort in Yorkshire have been constructing their biggest coaster to date. This brand new Intamin is finally set to open at the park on the 2nd of July 2022, and in today's video we take a final look at this awesome new coaster. This is Theme Park Realm News, and today we're taking a final look at SIK, the brand new ride opening at Flamingo Land Resort next month. So as we've discussed previously, the history of this coaster really does go back a far way. It has actually been relocated twice in the past, and the ride was originally due to open at Hopi Hari theme park in Brazil. The park purchased the ride from New, however unfortunately they were unable to continue construction due to financial pressures on the park at the time. Unfortunately, in February 2012 there was a tragic incident at Hopi Hari theme park. A young child was seriously injured and died after falling from an Intamin giant drop tower at the park. As a result of the incident, a lawsuit was filed against the park, eradicating all hope of this ride being installed. Despite the park's financial issues, they did try to install the coaster. The ride was sold to an investor and then leased back to the park under an agreement. Unfortunately, despite the park's agreement, they still could not raise enough funds to complete the construction. The construction was halted before even going vertical, and the ride was eventually sold to a park in Malaysia. It's unclear why the ride was never constructed here. It was stored at Movie Animation Park Studios for many years, before eventually being sold to Flamingo Land Resort at some stage in 2019. Since the coaster arrived at Flamingo Land, they too have experienced financial issues. The ride has been pretty much fully constructed since 2020. Unfortunately, however, construction progress halted due to the ongoing pandemic. COVID-19 certainly hit the world by surprise, with many of the UK parks spending months upon months either closed or at severely reduced capacity. Flamingo Land is of course a family-run park, and so it is very likely that they simply could not risk funding further construction of the coaster. The pandemic created a very uncertain financial situation for the park, as it did for many businesses, both small and large. Fortunately, the ride construction restarted early on in 2022, and the coaster has now been painted in its final grey finish, much of the landscaping has been completed, and the ride appears now to be fully functional, with testing even with staff on board. The coaster itself will be called SIK, in collaboration with a local clothing company. It's well known that the park's managing directors have been long friends with the owners of SIK Silk, another local Yorkshire business. The clothing company have already made their mark on the ride, with Union Jack theming on both the ride buildings and the train itself, which now features a black paint job. The park state that the station building will also be themed, however, the extent of the theming is not yet known. There has been mixed opinions on the ride. Some people love the new coaster. Other people don't see why Flamingo Land have opened this, when the ride is a near identical clone to Colossus at Thorpe Park Resort. Well, in my opinion, this is a fantastic new investment for the park, and many of the park's visitors won't even be aware that this is a clone ride. The new coaster dominates the park skyline already, and is sure to impress any new visitors which go to Flamingo Land. The ride itself is very similar to Colossus. The coaster is an Intamin multi-inversion coaster. However, this is the Rev B model. The Rev B model features several differences when compared with Colossus, which is a Rev A model. The biggest differences are to the ride's first drop. This coaster features a much steeper drop than the Rev A model. There are also slight differences to the track profiling in certain areas, creating a smoother ride experience. The lift hill features a cable lift rather than a conventional chain lift. This actually raises the coaster's top speed to around 52.8 miles per hour. The Rev A models tend to average around 10 mph less than the Rev B model. The track itself is also tri-rail all the way through, rather than featuring sections of two-rail track. For riders, the trains only feature lap bars, which is sure to lead to a much smoother ride experience, and there is of course a total of 10 inversions on this coaster. Towards the end of the ride, the coaster enters a series of heartline rolls before turning around a huge pond, which is set to feature a large water effect. The park also state that there will be several smoke effects around the ride. We expect this will mainly be at the bottom of the Cobra Roll. The ride features only one train as far as we are aware, However, we do not see this being an issue for capacity, as the train can carry a total of 24 riders. It is believed that there is a second train belonging to the ride, but the whereabouts of this train is currently unknown. So overall, this is looking like a fantastic new addition for the park, and the park state that there will also be a celebration concert at some point this summer to celebrate the opening of their brand new ride. Marketing so far for the new ride has been very limited, and as of recording this video there is still no record of the new coaster to be seen on the park's website. I certainly cannot wait to try out this ride, and I do feel that the lap bars are going to offer a much smoother ride experience. Having seen the construction, the photos do not do the ride justice. You have got to see this ride in person. It is absolutely massive and it really does look great, along with the rest of the park skyline. As always, do be sure to follow our social media channels for all of the latest updates on this epic new ride. I do hope that you've enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe as always. Thank you very much for watching.